Oh, your picture just disappeared. And you're back. Hi, everyone. I'm Jay.
Hello, I'm Colin.
And this is Star Wars Conversations. What just happened?
I don't know. I forgot what I had to say.
That's fine. We'll leave it like that.
Well, we ain't got no choice for the video. So there we go. Well done, everyone. Brilliant start.
Yeah.
Hello.
They all did it. Yeah.
Hello.
So this week.
This is the one you've been waiting for, Jay.
Yeah. Well, because we did the Kenner vehicles and all that kind of stuff ages ago now, right? Like months.
Yeah.
And at the time we said next week it's going to be the action figures, and then next week we did something else, and then we said next week it's going to be the action figures. And I think we did that about 3 times, and then we went on break for about 3 months.
And then we did it twice when we came back on break because there actually came some news out for a change.
I know, right?
Crazy, eh? Crazy world we live in.
What a crazy world. Now I'm finding it.
Sorry.
Now I'm finding it a little bit difficult with news as well, because I've crossed the line of reading spoilers, and so I'm like, is that news or not? Because some things I know that are news that, according to the spoilers I've read, contradict them.
Oh,
so
right.
I can't really talk that.
But then the spoilers could be completely wrong.
They could be wrong, but I don't want to say them because in case they're right, and then people be upset.
Especially me.
Exactly. So, anyway, whatever. So, action figures, Colin. Action figures. Our childhood. This is our childhood.
So, this episode today is brought to you by nobody, because nobody gives us any money. But, however, I am looking at the Jedi TempleArchives.com, and they have got a list of all the figures of when they came out, what series, and then when you click on the figure, it's got all the packagings, it's got pictures. It's really good. So if you're interested in, it's basically the Star Wars vintage archive or something.
I've just sent you a link to the JediBusiness.com one, which you don't have to click on anything. It just has a picture of all the figures on it.
Yeah, I've also seen. Yeah, I've seen. There's another site I found that had just a picture of the figures, but this one's really cool because you've got all the packaging, all the backs of the packaging, all the different types. So
yeah,
it's amazing. Like Obi-Wan, I mean, it's got like so many different packs.
Oh, yeah.
and I'm trying to work out which one I think I had, and it's just reminded me.
Put it in waves, haven't they?
Yeah. What I love is the. Some of the ones, particularly the ones that have got the multi-language on, have got big black blocks, so you can't see what the upcoming figures are. Now I'm guessing now ones that never were released in the UK or
no, we did have some. We did have some with the black box.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean those figures weren't released?
Yeah, those figures weren't released in the UK.
Yeah, that must be right.
Because
what a shitty thing to do, right?
I know there was like definitely an Ewok that I never had, which I thought I had all the Ewoks. And
then you saw someone else.
Oh yeah, that site you sent was really good. Yeah, that's wicked actually. They're all really good. There's loads of stuff out there if you want to have a look. So if you can't be asked to listen to us, just have a look.
But if you can't be asked to listen to us, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, you've got a serious problem.
We do. So anyway, let's start simply with, who are your first figures you got?
Ooh, So I can remember getting them it must have been a birthday present.
Because I just want to say, if we go back to the vehicles one, Colin started off by saying, I hardly got anything. And then he went on to explain how he had everything. So
and to be fair, with the figures, it's pretty much the same. I think there's about 3 figures I can see on this list that I didn't have.
There's one particular figure that I didn't have that I always wanted and everybody else had and I could never get. And it always killed me. Greedo. I always wanted Greedo, and everybody else had him, and I could never, ever, ever find him, and I never got him.
You never got him?
No, I never got him.
I struggled to find Yoda. That was the cat, and in the end, it was on holiday somewhere with my grandparents. We managed to find him, but I could never find Yoda.
But isn't that weird? Because I used to see Yoda everywhere, right? And I had Yoda, but everybody else had Greedo, and I never ever saw him anywhere. And I used to hunt for this figure. Like wherever I went, if there's Star Wars figures, I'd always go hunting the shelves looking for him. Could never ever find him.
I was walking behind you, in front of you, hiding them all.
Just taking them.
What colour was your snake when you had Yoda?
Orange.
Oh, there was 3 different coloured snakes apparently: a brown, an olive, and an orange. Anyway, going back to my first one.
So yes, your first figures.
It was a birthday, and I'm pretty certain it was a pack that you could buy from Argos, and they did like packs of like 3 and stuff.
Awesome.
And it was Darth Vader, Luke, and Obi-Wan.
Which Luke was it? The original, the Farm Boy Luke.
Yeah.
Was it a yellow hair or brown hair one?
Yellow.
Yeah, I had the yellow one. Mm. He had a slightly bigger head, and it was a little bit wobbly as well.
Yeah, his head fell off. I had to stick it on. We had to literally glue it on within about a week. I knocked his head off, and then I had one with this big. It was like proper thick glue. I don't know where my dad had got it. Some super glue. So my Luke had a really long neck because it had this massive big glue stuck on. And also its lightsaber was chewed. My sister chewed the lightsaber.
The ends always used to get knocked off. They used to break, didn't they? And so the lightsabers were weird. They had little skinny bit on the end. What was the point of that? Like, why would it ever have that? The only figure that didn't have that was Return of the Jedi Luke, because he actually had a green lightsaber that was coming out of his arm. Yeah. Which he could never hold properly, by the way.
No. He had a right little funny hand, didn't he? A hand that looked like he was doing something else. So those little twiddle bits, I always thought they were just to help you pull it out, and that they weren't supposed to be part of it.
No, because it had a little lever, didn't it, that used to stick out of their wrist, and you used to just push that. So, you know, who knew? Anyway, so I'm going to say my first figures. So when I first got my Star Wars figures, it was a Christmas, and I came down that morning and had the Millennium Falcon, and with it I got 4 Stormtroopers, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, Luke, Bespin Luke, and A New Hope Han Solo, the big head version. And I think that was it. I think they were my first figures.
So you're one of the kind of the kids that had loads of Stormtroopers and stuff like that, didn't you? No,
I didn't. In the end, I had a maximum of 5 Stormtroopers. So I got 4 when they first was my first figures. And one day in Cornwall, I was in Tesco's, and my auntie was there, and I was like, Stormtrooper. See, I used to have a technique. I used to have a technique as a kid, and my wife reckons I still use it to this day. So if I ever went to shop Phoenix in Brent Cross, which is a shopping centre in Brent in London, is where I used to live near there. And Phoenix used to have like rows and rows of Star Wars, tons of it. And so I used to go into shop with Mum. Now, my mum used to, she was willing to give me a beat down, right? This was one of those situations where I thought the risk was worth it, because sometimes this would end in a beat down, but other times it would end in you might get a toy. So I was like, you weigh it up, and I'm like, this is worth it, right? So I used to go up to the shelf, decide what I wanted, and go, and grab the toy and stare at it and go, you can't get this one anywhere. and then examine it as if it was the most intricate, amazing thing I'd ever seen. Right?
I love that. You're so snidey.
Of course, this trick, adults pick up on this straight away, right? But I don't know, sometimes Mum would go, I'm going shopping, and she'd leave me there, right? Once she's out of view, I'll be like, all right, and then I'll go looking at other stuff. And when I sort of sensed that she was coming back, run back round, pick it up and stand there like I've been standing there all that time going, oh, wow. and then I would either get it or get a beating.
Yeah.
And it was worth the risk. It was worth the risk. There were lots of beatings. So looking at this list, and I'm going to say, look at the one that I sent you where you can just see the figures, because it's the top row I'm going to talk about here now. So this, for anyone that wants to look, it's
top shelf.
This top shelf, right? So this one, if you can see, they've got Death Squad Commander. Do you see that one?
Yes.
right?
Yeah, so that's supposed to be Death Star Command.
Death Star Commander, yeah. So now actually, so Black Series that I clicked, the 6-inch, they released Death Squad Commander figure, but the one they released is not actually Death Squad Commander, it's Death Star Trooper, but they've named it Death Squad Commander. I don't know why that would happen, but it's Death Star Trooper, a figure that was never released in the Kenner ones.
I say, what's a Death Star Trooper? What do they look like?
You look in the Death Star and you hope all the guys dressed in black with those helmets.
Isn't that the Imperial Gunner?
No. The Imperial Gunner has the full face. The guy is
my favourite. Oh, I know who you mean. I know who you mean. Yeah. Imperial Gunner is my favourite figure, by the way. Spoilers for later.
Oh, I love that figure. But this guy, Death Squad Commander, right, was one of those figures that I got him home. Right, this killed me. Right, I got him home and went to turn his head, and this one's head was so stiff that it just snapped off. So I literally took him out of the packet. I had 2 figures that broke out of the packet. 2, right? One was him, took him out, his head snapped off. Game over. Same row, go further along, and you'll see Hammerhead.
Yeah, right? I love Hammerhead.
Yeah, brilliant. Got him home, moved his leg, and it fell off.
Hammered leg.
So I had Hammerhead, who was like an amputee. So in all my games, he was just sort of like sitting on the side, like injured, like right from the beginning. He was just this injured dude.
The Han Solo, there was 2, a small head and a big head.
Yeah,
which one did you have? I had big head.
Yeah.
Was small head hard to get or something?
No, see, I think small head came out much later because I don't remember him in that first
Investigate.
Yeah, I think he came out much later. I'll tell you what, I never had Ponda Baba, who was just called Walrus Man.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you.
Yeah, that's all I've ever known him as is Walrus Man.
I bet you had him.
I don't think I did have him.
I didn't actually know anyone that had him.
No, I didn't have him.
No.
It looks like Smallhead came out first.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's surprising. I never saw that. Then, I saw that later on.
It actually says in brackets Smallhead. Yeah.
Because when I saw people with the Smallhead one, they always got it much later. And I thought it was just a new one that they'd released because the big-headed one looked weird. Because the big-headed one did look weird.
I don't know. I think the big head one was I don't know. No, they've all got small heads. I don't know. Maybe the small head. There was a small head one came out with Empire Strikes Back as well. So I don't know. Why did we get big head ones? Because the big head one did look a bit stupid.
Yeah, well, I guess it's just the mold that they made at the time. What about Jawas? Did you have any Jawas?
I had one Jawa.
Did you have the cloth one or plastic?
No, plastic tape one.
Right.
I wanted a cloth one. The cloth ones are much cooler, aren't they?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I feel like it's just the same figure inside a cloth cape.
It is, 100%, definitely.
Yeah.
It's just where we get different. But I mean, I was surprised. So, did the cloth cape come out then as well, man? Did it? I thought all the cloth ones didn't come out till later.
The cloth one's the second version that came out.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah.
When they went, hey, instead of these stupid capes, because those capes sucked, right? Their arms used to always split.
Yeah, they always split, and I never had them for very long at all. I think Leia was the one I had the longest with her cape on because I never played with her. And then
my Vader and Obi-Wan, like they
straight
were just without capes, and also they had this stupid fold-down bit, which was meant to be a hood.
So when I first met. When I went to make my crappy cardboard Darth Vader, I was going to make it like that was the original plan, to make it like the toy.
You should have.
And I tried to, right? But with the cardboard and try and have it so it just went on my shoulders like that it was impossible. It was so heavy, I couldn't stand up, and it just kept pulling it back. So in the end, I had to adapt it.
You should have done that bit out of paper.
I couldn't get it to stay up.
Oh.
That's what I tried to make it stiff enough so that it could be up and down around my head like that, and it was just honestly, it was like choking me because it was pulling aptly with Darth Vader because it was pulling the front up into my neck. I was like, oh, so I thought, there's no way I'm gonna be able to walk around with this. So
Colin was trying to make it stiff enough. He couldn't make it stay up, and it was choking him.
Yeah, that's like definitely a Darth Vader fetish.
You know,
for the listeners' point of view, should we just quickly run through what were in this first
Okay, so I don't think these are not the original release. This is not in order of release.
I'll tell you what's in the original wave, shall I?
Yeah.
R2D2, Obi-Wan, Ben Kenobi, Chewbacca, Darth Vader, Death Squad Commander, Han Solo, Jawa, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia Organa, Sand People, C-3PO, Stormtrooper, and then Wave 2 of... This is 1978 to 1979. Wave 2 was Hammerhead, Greedo, Walrus Man, Snaggletooth, Luke Skywalker, X-Wing Pilot, R5-D4, Death Star Droid, Power Droid, and then Wave 3 was Boba Fett.
Okay, so the ones that we're looking at are Wave 1 and 2 mixed together in that case, right?
Yeah. So which of these did you have and didn't you have?
Okay, firstly, I'd like to just say Luke Skywalker, X-Wing Pilot, the bit where his goggles are hanging down, I always used to think it's hair. Yeah, and I was like, why has he got black hair there?
I didn't think it was him. I thought it was. I was like, they've just named this wrong or something. I thought it might be Biggs or something.
Because it looked like that, right? Okay, so in this wave, who did I have? So I had a different C-3PO. I had the one whose arms and legs could come off, so it was a different wave.
You know, I had the stiff one. Yeah, from the Empire. Oh no, I had the stiff one. I had the one with no brokenness.
So in this wave, I had.
This is every word I'm saying is an innuendo.
It sure is, Colin. It sure is. Right, so here I had. So I won't include that C-3PO. So Chewbacca, Darth Vader, Death Squad Commander, Death Star Droid, Hammerhead, Han Solo, Big Head, Luke Skywalker, yellow hair, Obi-Wan Kenobi, grey hair, R2D2. I don't think I had this R2D2 either.
Yeah, there was
a thing that came out the top. Yeah,
there was a solid one. There was one with the sensor from Empire, and then there was one with Saber from Jedi.
Yeah, I had the Empire one then, and I had Tusken Raider and Stormtrooper out of these.
Oh, I had all of them except for Ponda Baba, Walrus Man, and did I not? Oh, I didn't have Snaggletooth.
I was going to say I didn't think you had Snaggletooth. That's a rare one that people. I actually remember seeing Snaggletooth in the shop once, because there were two Snaggletooths. There's a tall one in blue and a short one, wasn't there? And I was in a shop once and they had both of them, and it was one of those situations where if I had my own money I'd have bought them, but obviously I was relying on my mum, and in those days they were only like 50p a figure, but apparently that's a lot of money back in.
Well, I can remember definitely very clearly on one place they were £1.64 because for some reason I got the same. It was the Attack Commander. I got him twice, and so we were going to take him back, and we had to steam and it was more expensive at one shop than it was in the other. So I steamed the sticker off one, put it onto the other, and then took it back.
God, the things we used to. I mean, maybe it's just that shop where I went to when they were 50p, but they weren't that expensive in those days, were they? They were quite cheap. I suppose it was expensive for people then.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, like 50p was expensive. I remember my mum never buying me a Superman 3 comic adaptation because it was 50p instead of a normal 20p or whatever they normally were.
Right. Yeah.
It's only 50p. So the R2D2, right?
Yeah.
Because I used to. You had the land speeder? No, you didn't have a land speeder, did you?
No, I didn't have a land speeder.
So I had that, and I used to put R2 in the back, and it used to scrape his sticker up. And so I had an R2 with no front.
Yeah, I think the most of their stickers used to get damaged, though, didn't they, on those? Yeah,
but mine was gone within about a day.
So did you have my R5D4?
I did.
Did he have a bad motivator?
Yeah, man, he was rubbish. To be honest, I never played with him.
What about Bonk Droid? Did you have Bonk Droid?
Yeah, I had him. And
I didn't have anyone that had that.
I had him, man.
What was so cool about him? Why did you love him? He's a square with feet.
Because I liked his feet, and like when you moved him, the way his legs moved, it was cool. And that little bit on the top was rubbery, and you could ping it. Like I'd flick it all the time. I don't know why.
You know, do you want to hear something really sad, right? You know how like when you were a kid and you're playing with these toys, obviously they couldn't move very well because they weren't very articulated. So you used to have to use your imagination a little bit while you were playing.
Yeah.
And as I always wanted Greedo and could never get him. So you know what I used to do? I used to take Yoda's jacket and I used to put it on Death Star Droid and pretend that Death Star Droid was Greedo.
I thought you were going to say you painted him or something.
No,
Death Star Droid was an extremely stiff figure. I could hardly move him.
Mine was a really loose one.
And he felt really, really brittle. I thought like if I pushed him too hard, he was going to break.
My one, you couldn't stand up; he just flopped down. It was so loose. Mine was really loose one.
Oh well, he must have had a good oil bath.
Must have.
Thanks,
Maker.
So, which was the best out of this first wave? Which ones did you like the most? I thought Chewbacca was the best figure.
Chewbacca was a good figure. Who did I like? I think it's Darth Vader. Darth Vader was my favourite.
The actual figure was wicked.
As well, because, I mean, as a kid, when I first saw Star Wars, before I even saw Star Wars, I saw like a comic book and Darth Vader was in it, and he was the character that I was like, oh, wow, and that made me want to see it. So getting a figure of Darth Vader is a really cool thing. I really liked that. So that and the Stormtroopers, I always liked Stormtrooper figures.
Well, I had 2 Stormtroopers, but what I can remember very vividly is that one of them, I don't know whether it was this bad when I bought it or whether it was just playing with it, but very quickly, one of them had really, really yellow legs by the end.
Yeah.
But the other one didn't. One of them didn't. One of them really did.
See, my Stormtroopers were weird, and actually seeing French Stormtroopers, mine all looked like better quality than theirs. The only difference was that when mine started to go yellow, they started to get these little orangey spots on them, which kind of looked like dirt, looked like sand. So I just pretended they were all sand troopers.
Yeah, that's what I had to do with my yellow ones.
But then the Stormtrooper that I got later, that one stayed pristine white for some reason, never changed, and actually the plastic felt different, like it was
that's what it was, a different material.
And his legs were really close together, so it was really hard to stand him up. Like his feet were almost touching each other. So it's had this figure that he always had to be leaning on something. He was like the drunk Stormtrooper.
So what was your worst one out of this wave? Which one did you like the least?
Oh, I'm gonna say it was probably See, the difficulty is it has to be my Hammerhead and my Death Squad commander because one had a missing leg and one had a missing head. However, if they were all working, it would have probably been Luke, because mine looked a lot like the one in this picture. His feet were close together, and he had this bobbly head that like kind of wobbled around. So it was probably him because
the way his skirt thing, it just, to be honest, it was the worst looking figure, definitely. And like I say, I hate the whole how they did the lightsabers. That was rubbish. And he didn't have any other guns on him. It was just, he was rubbish.
Yeah.
That was a terrible figure.
Well, I thought yours would have been Leia because, as you said, you never played with her.
No, but it's not a bad figure. The figure looks quite nice.
Yeah,
But Luke was rubbish.
How many Jawas did you have, by the way?
Only one.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
just
really
get shooed away.
Yeah. I'm just reading what this vintage packing figures is. What is this? I've never seen that.
Oh, yeah. So packing figures, I guess they were 1979.
Oh, with play sets.
Okay. Yeah. But in that, you can see they've got the Snaggletooth with a Cantina playset, and they're the tall ones, the tall blue ones, which you could also get separately as well, because I've seen them in the shops. So anyway, so we're going to the next wave.
Should we talk about I'll quickly go through this,
because I think this is going to be wave 3 and 4 that we're looking at here.
Okay, well, let me tell you. So this is 1980 to 1982, basic figures and accessories. Wave 1, Bespin Security Guard version A. Now, I don't know which one that is. There's 2.
Well, so here it's just white or black, so I think white is B.
Yeah, B for black. Bosk, FX7, Medical Droid, Han Solo, Hoth outfit, IG-88, Bounty Hunter, Imperial Stormtrooper, Hoth battle gear, Lando Calrissian, Leo Organa Bespin gown, Luke Skywalker Bespin fatigues, Rebel soldier Hoth battle gear. Then wave 2 was Yoda. Wave 3, Attack driver, Dengar, Han Solo Bespin outfit, Imperial commander, Leia Hoth outfit, Lobot Rebel commander, 2-1B, Ugnaught. Wave 4, R2-D2 with sensor scope, Attack commander, Bespin Security Guard version B, Cloud Car Pilot, Twin Pod, Luke Skywalker Hoth Battle Gear, C-3PO with removable limbs, Wave 5, Imperial TIE Fighter Pilot, Zuckuss, Wave 6, Forlom.
Okay, so this is going all the way up to Wave 6 then, what we've got here. Because this has got... Sorry, Wave 6, Forlom, what, just that one figure?
It's just one, yeah. I mean, like, Wave 2 was Yoda on his own.
Yeah, so they got squeezed into other waves then, because there was never a time you bought a figure and it just had one on the back, was there?
No, exactly.
Okay, so yeah, this one there's quite a lot of good figures here. And there's quite a few that I didn't get that I would have liked to get.
Okay, well, looking at the pictures here, the only ones I didn't get are...
ones. Wow. Where did you find them all though? Like, what was the main shop you used to go to? Because I had a couple of main shops that I would go to regularly, and that, as I say, there were certain things I could just never find.
Yeah, there were 3 shops in Wickham, High Wycombe, where I was hatched. Tesco, where you get your best clothes, is definitely one of the main places. That was wicked. That was my favourite shop. The toys upstairs.
Really?
Yeah, wicked. And then there was an actual toy shop called Child's, which I hardly ever went to because one, it was really expensive and it was a little bit out of the town. And then there was a department store, and I'm really struggling to remember what it was called. And that was another place where it was more expensive, but often had random ones. But Tesco was ones. Yeah, Tesco's was the place. That was where I would say I probably got 70-80% of my stuff. And even Transformers, when I moved on to Transformers. That was cool. Awesome. So, but then I remember the sad days when they started reducing the amount of toys they were selling, and it was so sad. Because
then it became
back in those days, they had massive displays. Like I remember big Star Wars displays and big Transformer ones and He-Man. It was just like cool.
Like when I talk about Phoenix in Brent Cross and going there, I remember they used to have, if you imagine like a toy aisle, there would be like 3 or 4 of those dedicated Star Wars only. And there would be everything from the 12-inch ones. Do you remember the puppet Yoda? They used to have that. They used to have like just rows and rows of ships. They used to have like figures, like floor to ceiling, just rows of figures. It was amazing. That's how toy shops are meant to be.
Yeah, I mean the only other shop I just remembered I did buy some was Woolworths.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I got them from there, but they didn't have as many. Anyway, so what didn't I have? I'm just looking at this. I didn't have a Cloud Car Pilot because he looked like a nerd.
I think they look cool.
No, they don't look cool.
Even look at his arms.
They look like that safety dance bloke.
But look at his arms as well. His arms are even posed with that.
Cool with his arms. That is quite cool. But then, what else can you do with him apart from put a beer in his hand? Nothing you can do there. Who else didn't I have? I had all of them.
I've just realised my you didn't have Yoda. I just remember my third broken figure is in this wave.
Oh yeah, who was that?
Lobot. Lobot. He was okay.
Loved his arms. It was lovely, flowing.
But my Lobot was okay for a while. Then just one day, his arm fell off.
God. Harsh.
So I had one with the missing head, one with the missing leg, and one with the missing arm.
I tell you what, the Leia Organa Bespin gown, I might not have had, actually, because I know if I did get it, I got it really late, because I remember looking at it for ages thinking, that's a crap figure. So I might not have got that one. I don't think I did get that one. So 2 or 3. But
so you had Imperial Commander?
I had Imperial Commander, yeah.
See, I never saw him around, and also that's not an Imperial Commander. But anyway, that's Stormtrooper Commander, the black ones.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so did you like all these figures? Which ones didn't you have?
I'll tell you what I did have here. Right, that's probably the easier way. So I had Attack Commander, which I had the one, as you see in this picture, with a slightly orange face, because there was 2. There's a really pink one, and then there's an orange one. Everyone else I knew had the pink one, and I had the orange one. So I had him. I had 2 Attack drivers because I had an Attack. I had Boba Fett, as you can see, there's two different ones here. There's tri-logo Boba Fett suit, and then there's regular release. I had regular release one. The other one actually looks better. I don't know, but the other one looks better if you just look at the picture. I had Bosk, although...
I think I had the second one. He's more purple, isn't he? And the first one's more light.
And that's the original release. So I had Bosk. I remember I got Bosk and Tusken Raider together because my mum came home from work one day and she had them both with her. And she held them up. Yeah, she held them up and she goes, "Which one do you want?" And I was like,
no.
And I wanted them both. She goes, "You can only have one."
What? Yeah. Your mum's a ballbuster.
I know, right? So I picked Bosk. And she put them behind her back, actually. And I picked Bosk. And she was like, "All right." And then she took the Tusken Raider away. And I was like, "What?" And then she gave it to me like a bit later, like another day.
That is harsh. Oh my God, Jay.
But my Bosk, I remember I was playing with it and he got plasticine stuck in the groove of his mouth. Oh. So when I was at the kid next door's house, I swapped it over. Oh. So he had a plasticine one instead. So yeah, let's start again. So I had Attack Commander, I had two Attack Drivers, I had Boba Fett, I had Bosk, I had this C-3PO, I had FX7, I had Han Solo Hoth outfit, and I had Lobot, I had Luke Hoth battle gear, I had Luke Bespin figure, and it was this one with the slightly more brown hair. I had this R2-D2, I think I had two of the Imperial Stormtrooper Hoth guys, and then the bottom row I had TIE Fighter Pilot, which was a figure that I barely moved because it smelled of strawberries and I wanted to maintain the smell of strawberries. I had Ugnaught and I had Yoda, and now looking at Yoda, I'm pretty sure that it was the orange one I had. I'm pretty sure it's that one. Yeah,
I had the brown snake, definitely.
Oh, you did get him in the end?
Yeah, I did get him in the end, but literally, he was probably the last thing I ever bought.
Ah, okay. And in this as well, Zuckuss and Forlom have got their names reversed. Because remember, Zuckuss, who is actually Forlom, was released as Zuckuss, and you know, the other way around.
That's right.
So you had C1B.
Yes, he was super cool. My favorite. So, I tell you, my favorite Luke and my favorite figure in this wave is Hoth Battle Gear Luke. It's such a cool figure.
That is a very cool figure. It does look cool.
And also, like I say, he's got a cooler pose, and because he's got all the gear on him, it's just wicked, isn't it? Yeah. He looks like he's cool.
But again, the Han Solo.
Why is that one so good compared to all the other Lukes?
The Han Solo Hoth one looks stupid. Actually, no. You know what? This Luke and the Bespin Luke, I like the Bespin Luke as well. That was my favourite one, and it still is with the Black Series as well.
The Bespin Luke is cooler. The brown haired one's definitely better than the yellow haired one.
And the Bespin Han Solo's cool. And most people knew had that, but I didn't have that one.
Yeah, to be honest, that was my favourite Han Solo figure as well. That's probably the one was my default figure when I was using Han Solo. It doesn't really matter what I was playing.
And in fact, Hoth Leia is probably my favourite Leia. Although I didn't have this one, I had the Return of the Jedi Leia, but I think the Hoth one's quite cool.
It's the least feminine one because she really looked like a man in that one.
I suppose, yeah.
I mean, because the thing is, it's quite a.
Dengar's a good figure. Dengar's pretty cool. I've never had him.
To be honest, there's loads good. This wave is the best. IG-88, amazing. Bosk, amazing.
Bosk was cool.
FX7, I loved. I loved his arms. I'm playing with those all the time. Like
I had FX7. I didn't love FX7. But
I loved it. His head moved up and down.
See, he's one of those figures that for some reason I chose to buy him when I was out. And then in later years, I regretted it and thought that was a wasted opportunity. Because I
mean, it's annoying because he doesn't, character-wise, he doesn't do anything.
Droid. It's not like you got a toy of Luke and his nappy when he's in the Bacta tank, did you? So it's like, so what's the point of this droid? It just stands there and does nothing.
But
you know what? I used to pretend he could fly. I used to pretend.
Yeah, I used to. I used to make him spin, pretend he was spinning. Yeah. That's exactly what I did.
I think all.
So I tell you what, I think what I liked about him is he's He's got a bit of a Dalek about him. He's got a bit of a. Do you remember the Black Hole? It reminds me a little bit of the character in that as well. So I think he was just a cool design, and so I'd use him for more than just medical purposes.
And did you have white and black Bespin Guard?
Should I tell you what? I think I only had the black one. I don't think I had the white one actually.
And he's actually got a cooler pose. If you look at the two, he's standing different.
He's pretty relaxed, isn't he? He's like a mover and shaker. But the white guy, he just looks like he reminds me of
he looks Chinese.
See, I think he looks like Matey Boy from Superman 2, Zod's mate. Whatever his name is.
The big. What's his
name?
Nom. That's it. So what about Lando? Because there's two versions of Lando. So he's both Bespin one, but one's got his mouth open and he's smiling, and one's just, I think his mouth's closed on the other one.
That's so weird. I can't remember which one I had. I can't remember. I think I'd remember if he had that smile. But then he has got a winning smile, and that's what you expect.
He does have a winning smile, that's true. He does. Ugnaught as well. I had one Ugnaught. Pretty useless.
Yeah.
And I lost his cape. I lost his cape straight away, like his pinny.
Zucker's Forlom. So which one's which?
So Forlom is the droid. Zucker's.
Right. So Zucker's was an interesting figure because of his. He had that really thick. Did you have him?
It's leathery, wasn't it? No,
it was really thick.
So I never bought him.
And so interesting character, but again, one that's useless. You don't really use them for anything.
It's a bounty hunter.
I think this is a great selection of characters. Some really great designs.
This was the first time you ever got a Rebel Trooper as well.
Yes.
You got the Hoth Rebel Troopers, but you didn't really get them anywhere else. So
that Rebel Commander's rubbish.
Rebel Commander. Why don't you like him? He's got the same thing hanging off the side of his head like Luke does.
But it's just pointless.
He's got a moustache.
I like the Snowtrooper is obviously one of the best.
Snowtrooper's cool, though the cape that they have, they always just
that went within 2 seconds, and then he had these little hooks on his hips.
Yeah,
just
that's right.
Fun. Yeah, so they were cool.
I really liked General Veers, the attack commander.
Yeah, that was a good figure.
Cool looking figure.
Really. This is the thing, like some of them are really, really like great detail. Some of them just look rubbish.
Yeah. Hey, Colin.
Yeah.
All right, just pause for a second. I need to move location.
Okay.
Yeah.
So YouTube listeners, I'm going to stop recording, which means I don't know whether you're going to get a second part of this or not. Or should I just keep it going?
Just keep it rolling. I'm not going to
I'll entertain
YouTube
viewers.
Well, you can still see me. I'm just going to be walking around a little bit. You get a little tour of my house.
Viewers, we're about to have a tour of Jay's house. Fantastic curtains. Well done on your curtains there.
Thank you very much.
Very grey. Interesting painting in the background. Obviously, Jay's a fine connoisseur of art. Lovely wife in the background that we won't mention. Washing is on the banister.
That's right. Yep, got it all hanging out.
Well done there. Yeah. Leaving it all hanging out. What else is going on? Oh, Joker. Yeah, by Jock.
Yep, there's the Joker.
Yeah.
You like that one? That Joker painting? It's pretty cool.
Great. Yeah.
That's in our bedroom.
Oh, what a wonderful place to have it.
Yeah, well, why not? I mean, to have something cool hanging over the bed, right?
Interesting headboard there. Looks very comfortable.
It is very comfortable. I was going to plug in my laptop because I don't want the battery to run out. It should be okay, but, we're talking away, so...
Well, we're talking away. This is podcast fans. You may know that I also do a TaylorNetwork TARDIS one, and we just recorded an episode about Buffy the Vampire, and that went on for 2 hours, and I've still got so much to edit on it, and this looks like a very long podcast, and so I'm going to be editing this one for ages, and then I'm expecting a podcast from Darryl and JK for the Go Trek Yourself, which I edit for them. So I'm going to probably spend the whole of the day just editing. So that's really fun.
Well, I was just evicted because my daughter's woken up, so she's going to come downstairs, start making lots of noise. So I was changing location. Right, so we are good to continue.
Right,
so just give me the finger when you're ready to start talking again.
We're still ready, so just carry on.
Okay, right. So where were we? So we were just saying, we're
talking about Zuckus and what a wonderful.
But Forlom, or as he was called then, Zuckus. Did you like that figure? I mean, he just had C-3PO's body with basically Zuckus's head, and it's painted black. Well,
he was rubbish. Well, I hated them both, to be honest. I was like, what rubbish figures?
Oh.
I didn't like them.
Oh, you know my Boba Fett? My Boba Fett was the only figure I had who's more articulated than any of the others, because at some point over the years he got a crack in his neck, right? But on the bit where his actual shoulder plate armor is, the green bit.
Oh, yeah.
And it cracked in a little V shape, and it just fell off. So his head could move up and down as well after that.
So you had a nodding bobber.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool, Jay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you have? So I'm just looking at the in-pack figures. With Slave One, you got. So these are figures that are in the vehicles.
Carbonite loop.
So in Slave One, you got the Carbonite.
I'm sure you had Slave One, didn't you? So you got that with it.
So I got that. It was like a
probe droid. I never saw that.
No, I got mine. I got my Slave One second hand. It was like a listing on in a paper.
Wow.
And then when they did like classified ads, I found it there, and it was cheap. Yeah, amazing. It was good, very good. Because I never got that originally.
At this junction speaking of that, at this point in the show, if any listeners or viewers are kind-hearted and want to send me a 6-inch Black Series Imperial Sand Trooper with dewback, then I would be most appreciative, because I really, really want it. I can't get it. and I've put it in my Amazon wish list as my number one item that I want someone to buy for me.
And while you're at it, listeners, send me cash only, untraceable, and large quantities. Thank you. So should we talk about next wave?
Oh, I just want to know about this probe droid, though. Do you know where you got that from? Like, where did that come with?
Part of the Turret Probot playset.
I never saw that.
So I have
no idea. I'm guessing you didn't either. And then they got Snow Troop, which came with a German magazine. What the hell? They got a free toy with their magazine?
Well, some magazines put toys on. We had
not ones like that.
Well, not cool ones, no.
You get like a really crap toy. I'm jealous. Anyway, so Vintage Return of the Jedi we're at now.
Right, so in this list, let me tell you what we've got. All right, here we go.
Well, Colin had all of them.
So this is 1983 to 1984. Wave 1, Admiral Akbar, Bib Fortuna, Biker Scout, Chief Chirper, Emperor's Royal Guard, Gamorrean Guard, General Medine, Klaatu, Lando Calrissian Skiff Guard, Logray, Ewok Medicine Man, Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight outfit, 9 Num, Princess Leia Organa Bush Disguise, Rebel Commando, Rees, Squidhead, Weequay, Wave 2, 8D8, ATST driver, B-Wing pilot, the Emperor, Han Solo trenchcoat, Klaatu and Skiff Guard outfit, Nick 2, Princess Leia in combat poncho, Pruneface, Wankhorn Keeper, Tebow, Wicket W. Warwick, Wave 3, Lumat Plapu. Now, why those two Ewoks have toilet-related names, I have no idea.
Which ones?
Lumat and Plapu.
Lumat.
That's what I always thought. I was like, Lumat and Plapu. Anyway, so that is that waves, those waves of figures. What do you think of those bad boys?
Well, I really like a lot of these figures. There's some really cool figures here. There's like the quality got better with some of them. I tell you what, the there's a few figures here. I'll say this is where Emperor. I had two Emperors, and when the Emperor first came out, he was a mail away figure. You had to like send off for him, so you couldn't actually buy him in the shops. And
same with Nick Num.
Was Near Num like that as well?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I mailed for both of those two.
Oh, if I'd known that, I'd have got him. But yeah, I mailed off for Palpatine and got him. And then for Christmas, my auntie bought me Palpatine when he was released in the shops. And I was like, yay! And I was like, oh. Oh. And you know what? I'm such a stupid kid that I opened it. Why didn't I just take it back to a shop?
Stupid.
What an idiot. Anyway, I'll tell you what.
Well, at least that could have been the Emperor's clone from Rise of the Skywalkers.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
I saw the future.
So that Emperor figure, Palpatine, wicked. Really thick legs.
It wasn't bad, was it?
It's like that could have been one that would have been see, to me, I never understood why it wasn't a frail man underneath and a nice cloth thing like the rest. But they made it a great big solid lump of plastic.
I think it's because, like, with let's say Obi-Wan, for example, you could see what he was wearing underneath, even though the figure didn't look anything like what he was wearing. But with the Emperor, you never saw him other than his cloak, so they probably didn't know what to put on him underneath. And wasn't he wearing a t-shirt or something? Like
nappy would have been.
That's what they should have done. Yeah.
Every time he uses lightning. Okay, so which ones did you have then out of these?
Okay, so out of these, I had 8D8, I had Admiral Akbar, I had ATSC Driver, I had B-Wing Pilot, I had Bib Fortuna, Biker Scout. I had 2 of them because I had 2 speeder bikes. So obviously I had to get 2 of them. I had 2 Chief Chirpers for some reason. I had an Emperor's Royal Guard. I had Klaatu, just standard one, so the brown top and the little...
The one with the nice little dress, the little skirt.
Yeah,
that's wicked. Again, that's a nice little touch. You didn't need that little skirt on there, did you? The top of it was
leather. The top of it was leather. Yeah. The rest of it was like furry.
That was a nice touch.
And I had Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight with the snap cape. But if you look at this picture, right? So for people listening, so there's 2 different versions you could get. Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight. One had a cape with a popper on it, and the other one had one which was just sewn together. So I had the popper one. But in this picture, the snap cape one's got a blue lightsaber, but my one had a green lightsaber.
Yeah, I don't remember mine. I had a snap one as well, but it broke, and so my mum had to sew it.
The sewed one.
Yeah, but I can't remember having a blue lightsaber with that.
No, mine had green. But see, now this was the first time, because you got this one, you got Emperor's Royal Guard, and Han Solo as well, in the trench coat, and they're using material now instead of
Leia.
And Leia, actually, she's got
and the squid head.
Got squid head. You've got
face.
So yeah, they're all sort of they started to stop.
Had a skirt and a cloak.
Squidhead was a wicked figure, but they started using and Bib Fortuna. So in this wave, they stopped the stupid plastic capes, which was wonderful.
No plastic
even
capes.
Like Chief Chirper, he's got the plastic headdress, but that could come off, so that's pretty cool. So what did I get? So I got to Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight. So I had him. Then I had Nick 2, Emperor twice, Leia in the combat poncho. I had her, and I had Squidhead, Tebow.
Boss Leia. Or
Leia? No, I didn't.
Bush.
No, I had Squidhead, I had Tebow, I had Wee Quay, and that was it.
I tell you what, some great figures here.
You had all of these, didn't you?
I didn't have all of them. I didn't have. What didn't I have?
Oh, this was the other time they brought out Rebel Soldier as well.
Yeah, I didn't have Klaatu, the Skiff Guard version. I didn't have Admiral Akbar.
Oh, he came with a stick.
I never had him.
I never understood why people bought General Madine. I
had him, and I don't know why I hated him.
Yeah.
He used to be my Commissioner Gordon when I played Batman. I didn't have Nick 2. I didn't have. Oh, that's it. That's the only ones I didn't have. But I tell you what, some of it's great. I didn't see the point in Hans' trench coat. That went in the bin.
I didn't like Ree's. I didn't like Ree.
No, him. No.
I didn't like his hands.
Massive hands. Massive. He had elephant hands. No, I didn't like him either. Actually, I don't think I had him. Thinking about it, I think that was my friends that I played with. No, I didn't have him.
Yeah, my next door neighbour had him.
Yeah. I thought Pruneface was a weird character. Lando Cushion, that is my default Lando Cushion. I love that one, Skiff Guard.
The Skiff Guard one, that was
probably what I loved Lando and Leia's Bush disguise because they didn't necessarily they could
be a different character.
Yeah, those costumes were so cool that even without the helmets, which I did lose pretty quickly, I'm sure, the characters looked more like super cool, so you could do other things with them. Like, because I used to pretend that Bush had a rocket pack, that thing on the back was a rocket pack.
Yeah, it looked like
and then she could fly. Yeah. And I really loved the way the skirt thing flicks out, or whatever it is.
Well, Bush was cool because of that mask, and it could actually fit over the head properly. That was something new they were doing in this wave as well. Figures where they could have because Lando's got a whole headpiece that fit over the face, and it was really good.
It made him look like super. I mean, Lando's skiff costume is wicked. It's such a great design, isn't it? It's really good. I really like the ATST driver. He looked really. He had a really solid body. I thought something about him.
Well, that's what I was saying. That the quality of this wave, I think the quality of the actual figures got better because they felt sturdy. Even look at Neonum. If you actually look at the picture of him, he looks more like the ATST driver in the sort of thickness of the figure.
Yeah.
Klaatu was like that. Klaatu was a very solid figure.
I didn't. Who didn't I really like? I hated Weequay. I don't know why. It wasn't a bad figure.
I loved Weequay. That was one of my favourites. I thought it was a brilliant figure.
I
think it was a brilliant figure.
The Gamorrean Guard was a great figure.
I never had a Gamorrean Guard.
Really good. Value for money, that one.
See, that one now, I want the Black Series. I want 2 of them for Black Series. But guess what? Because it's a slightly larger figure, it starts at £35. What a fucking rip-off bunch of arseholes.
I've got to say, though, those Ewok figures are brilliant because, one, they were great, but those, like you say, those little plastic things were wicked. They were really good plastic
and they all had unique ones as well. I mean, look at Logray and Tebow. They're their own specific ones.
And what I loved, when you took all the things off, they were little cute teddy bears.
Yes, they were. So
especially
you could play Tebow with them.
Tebow was particularly cute without his costume.
Tebow was particularly cute and stripy.
Yeah, he was.
Bib Fortuna, that's a pretty good figure. Although I took the jacket off him and lost it.
Oh right.
You know what? I think I took his jacket off, and initially I put it on my A New Hope Han Solo and pretended he was trenchcoat Han Solo.
Oh. The Leia
Royal Guard, his cape came off immediately.
No, that was stuck on, wasn't it? It was stuck under his head.
If you pulled it upwards, it came up off over his head.
Oh, did it? I never took it off because I always thought it was a weird figure because you couldn't really do much with him with that cape on. The cape was too restrictive.
I took it off because I wanted to know what he was wearing underneath.
What I didn't like was Leia's combat poncho because even though it looked cool. It looked cool, but I lost the belt really quickly, and then therefore it used to just spin around her head, and it was just no good.
No,
and then I used to put her arms through the belt holes, and it was really rubbish.
That's what I used to do. And to be fair, you're right. I had her out of it most of the time because, again, I used to put that on my Return of the Jedi Luke to pretend I had Luke from Return of the Jedi Jungle.
The actual figure underneath was really good. I thought
it was good.
She was more feminine underneath, and it was really nice.
Maybe that was the best straight up Leia figure, not including Bush, but one that was just, you could tell was Leia. I think that was maybe the best one.
Wasn't bad, yeah.
Yeah. Nictu was a cool figure. I liked Nictu. He was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a bit too boring for me. I didn't like him.
Nictu, he's an alien. He's got horns on his head.
Right.
He's got some armor. Look at his sleeves. He's got flowing
he looked like a real bull. I don't think it'd be fun with.
he might have been a boring guy, but him, Klaatu, and they didn't ever have Barada, but those guys, they're cool figures. I thought it's nice to have some aliens.
Yeah,
that's what's lacking in the Black Series. And I was thinking today because I've got a X-wing pilot of Poe Dameron, but because I don't really like the sequel trilogy ones, I just generally collect Galactic Civil War ones. I thought I might remove the head and hands from my Poe Dameron, and I was like, I could put an alien on there and make it an alien pilot. But I was like, I can't think of any good alien characters to buy. And really, I was looking, and they don't really have that many. So, bit of a shame.
Yeah. Did you get Jabba the Hutt? The big Jabba the Hutt toy?
No, I didn't. No. Did you? I bet you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Although I have got Salacious Crumb because I bought it recently because I've got the Black Series Jabba the Hutt and I wanted a Salacious Crumb. And if you bought it in the set that came with the San Diego Comic-Con version, it was really expensive. And so I just bought the old playset Salacious Crumb to have.
Oh, cool.
So I've got that.
Clever.
Cost me £6.
Oh, nice result. I never got the band either that you could get separately. I didn't get them.
Max Rebo band. No, I never had them.
But they were cool.
Yeah,
I would have liked them.
Yeah, cool. I would have actually. And then you could do the old song.
Yeah, not that. Do, 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 do. All right. Anything else to sound these figures?
No, I think they're all right. I thought Biker Scout was a wicked figure. Biker Scout's legs were always slightly wide apart because he had to sit down. And do you remember how the speeder bike worked? It had a little thing in the middle, it lifted up and went over his legs to hold him on. Yeah.
Weird.
But I loved them because they could explode. Do you remember the advert for them? I used to try and recreate the advert where they're like driving them through the table legs and all that because it's meant to be the forest, and one would crash and explode. And I used to try and recreate that all the time.
Very cool. All right, so let's get to the final wave. What was called the Power Force wave, and this was 1985. So in that wave was, name.
They had Barada here.
Huh?
Barada came out here.
Yeah. Ananaman. I think that's how you say it. Anakin Skywalker, R2-D2 with pop-up lightsaber, A-Wing pilot, Barada, EV-9D9, Han Solo and Carbonite chamber, Imperial dignitary, Imperial gunner, Lando Calrissian general pilot, Luke Skywalker Imperial stormtrooper officer outfit, Luke Skywalker battle poncho, Romba, Warrock, and Yak Face.
Now I would say that I didn't have most of these. And also I thought most of them looked a bit crap because in this wave they all started to like gain muscles, which was a bit weird.
So let's just say the Death Star Gunner, best figure in the entire range.
Now that was a great figure, and I did have that one.
He's got good pecs.
He's well built, this guy.
But what a cool! He looks a bit like Black Manta, doesn't he? That's what he looks like.
This figure.
Now this figure was in every game I played, no matter what I was playing.
I think this was
so cool.
This set here was towards the very end of me collecting anyway.
Well, it's the last at 985, mate.
It was the last set, but I think that there was not many in there that I wanted, so I was kind of like, Death Star Gunner I want.
He was good.
Now, A-Wing pilot I never saw, but that looks like a nice figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Lando Calrissian's quite a good one. But yeah.
So which ones did you have out of these? Any of them?
Out of these, I had Death Star Gunner.
Right, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I had an Anaman.
Did
Anakin
you?
Skywalker.
I didn't know anyone that had an Anaman. In fact, I'm trying to wonder where he appears in the movies.
He's in Jabba's Palace.
He's got something. Yeah.
Death Star Gunner.
Sorry, you had Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, he was a mail away one.
I never, but he did come out in a packet because I've seen him. But yeah. I never felt any reason to buy him because I was like, why do I want a Force Ghost?
I don't know. I don't know why I got him. I think because he was a mail away. I don't think I would have bought him. EV-9D9, I had him.
You had him, really? I didn't.
And he had a little switch at the back of his head so his mouth moved.
No way.
Flip open like that, yeah.
I didn't know anybody that had that.
I had him.
Wow.
I had Hanson and Carbonite chamber, and that,
really?
and I did use his figure a lot.
I mean, look at the size of his neck.
I mean, to be honest, it's not a great figure.
It's a horrible figure.
Also, what's annoying is he doesn't look like what he looked like in the Carbonite chamber either. It's really weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
did it come with the Carbonite thing?
Yeah, it came with that, and you put him in it. And you could literally put the character in it. Yeah. No, it doesn't glow.
No, it looks like it's glowing. It's got see the.
But when you put him in it, it's obviously translucent, and you can sort of see him through it.
And is it blue? Is it like a blue colour?
No, it's not blue. It's translucent. It's just that's the colour behind it. That's why it looks blue.
And also, it's in the wrong pose for Han Solo.
That's what I'm just saying. It's annoying because he's not in the actual pose he should be in. That's why I just didn't see the point. I was like, well, that's not what he looks like in the thing. So why do it? You know. Then it make more sense that you just put him in.
Yeah.
And the actual case would be
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. And also it's only a front, there's no back to it.
Right.
So again, you always have to like put it against a wall, which is like stupid. And like if you try to get like your figures to carry him, like in
Empire, fall out.
You just fall out. Anyway,
amazing.
I didn't get the Imperial Dignitary because that sounds rubbish.
Yeah.
Barada.
Yeah. I never saw Barada.
No.
I never saw him.
I never saw Lando Calrissian pilot either. I never got him.
That to me is a cool Lando.
Yeah. I mean again, Skiff-Guard, I'd never use any other one than him anyway. Luke was Stormtrooper outfit I did get.
They had a Han Solo as well.
Well, this is it. That's one of the ones that only came out in America. It definitely came out.
No, it came out here because my neighbour had it and I saw it in the shops.
I don't remember seeing the Han Solo one.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a Han Solo one.
I don't think they did, you know.
I'm sure they did.
They have it on here.
Why would they just release Luke like that? That doesn't make any sense.
And also, that is the worst looking Luke. He looks like He-Man.
He's been down the gym, mate.
But cool that you could take his helmet off. The only thing was he really stood out as that he wasn't like the rest of the Stormtroopers. They should have just used the Stormtrooper body, shouldn't they?
Definitely.
Why didn't they do that?
Because it's like this guy's disguise is terrible.
And he's meant to be smaller than the rest.
And even his legs like look wrong. They don't look like Stormtrooper legs. And
that's what I'm saying. The whole body is wrong. And when you put him next to a Stormtrooper, he didn't look like a Stormtrooper.
Aren't you a little hench for a Stormtrooper?
I did get the Luke and battered poncho, and that was a rubbish figure because unlike Leia, his helmet didn't come off, and it was rubbish.
Oh, didn't it? Did it just stay on?
That was painted on, and it looked awful.
Right. Why would they do that?
Yeah. And he had another funny hand. I got Luma and Plapu.
Did you? You had Paplu and Luma.
Bad names. I didn't have that. I didn't get the other two Ewoks, and I did get Yak Face.
You did get Yak Face. Yeah. Wow, another one that I never knew anybody that had that one.
Yeah, man.
Because it's a why would you figure? Why would you buy that?
Well, again, a lot of them are weird, aren't they? But they're just interesting creatures. I like them.
I suppose they fill up your Jabba's palace, and as you had Jabba, it's worth having.
I had Jabba, yes.
Okay, so below this, there's a list of Star Wars droids figures. Did you have any of those?
I hated that cartoon.
Did you? See, I liked that cartoon, and you know what? I'd really liked Tig From figure because Tiggy.
No, I hated those. I hated that cartoon. I hated the Ewoks cartoon.
What did you hate about that cartoon? It was better than like fucking Rebels and stuff like that.
It didn't have Luke's. It didn't have any Jedis in it.
Well, it didn't need Jedis in it.
And to be honest, I've never liked C-3PO. I've always hated him, and I've never been a fan of 3PO and anything about it. And to me, it was just like, what? Why isn't this about the main cat? I just thought if you're gonna make a Star Wars cartoon, put the characters in it I want to see. Don't put other characters in it.
Well, it was called Droids. It was about the droids and their adventures.
I don't want to see that boring things, you know. And if you say you like that cartoon, then you can't say anything about Rebels and
Well, I can because when it came out, I was a little child for one, and for two, as I just said, it's better than Rebels and Clone Wars.
It's not better than Rebels. Rebels was better than that.
No.
Rebels was brilliant.
Rebels has had some bits that are okay.
Clone Wars.
Look at Admiral Seed that came out from Droids. Look at him. He has like robotic bits stuck in his face.
Where is he?
So scroll down, unproduced Droids figures.
Yeah, I like Ungo Bungo. What's his name? Mungo.
Bungo.
Is that a George Lucas figure? Mungo Boa.
He probably based him on him.
Cool figure. Actually, those figures are quite cool.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, man. Then you've got the Ewoks cartoon figures. I never really saw those. By this point, I'd stopped collecting anyway, so that's probably why I didn't get the Droids ones.
I would never have bought any of these.
I would have got Tig from because I liked Tiggy. He was the baddie. Like he was like a little whiny little bitch that used to get slapped around by his dad.
So that's the figures, dude.
So that's the Kenner figures, yeah, man. Like, some fond memories, and the games that I used to play with them were just amazing.
Did you used to make your own stories up, or
would you make all my own stories? Yeah, make my own stories up. But the other thing was like, you know, most kids in those days, when we were young, used to play with Star Wars toys. Star Wars toys were huge, and so there was two other boys on my street that had their own collection. So we used to get together, and you know, one of them had like the Rebel Transport. He had like the ATSTs. I had like the AT-AT, and so you'd have all these different toys. So I mean, in some ways, like, you didn't even need to have them all yourself because all the other kids around you had other ones that you didn't have. And you know, we'd get together and just sit there and play all day, like awesomeness. And I used to commandeer the whole of the upstairs of my house. So
I thought you were going to say your friends and tell them exactly what to do. I bet you were right bossy pants.
No, I don't think
you were.
The only thing that I couldn't have in games, right, was like I couldn't have other toys involved. Right? So you can just have like a fucking dinosaur turn up, or you can have like
not even as a monster to attack.
You can Star Wars. No, you can have Batman in it. You can have like some random, like some teddy bear turns up or something. You can have that kind of shit. You know, it was Star Wars, so it was Star Wars action that was game. Yeah, you know,
I'm in agreement with that.
I can't be down with mixing shit up. Like I don't want like some random crap turning up. The only time things changed were when Action Force figures were involved. They were allowed to be in it.
Yeah, because they were exactly the same.
They were cool. So
I mean, I was the other way. The other way round was absolutely valid though for me. Like if I was playing with other figures or other toys, Star Wars figures could be included because they rule, so they could come into other games.
It depended for me. For example, if I was playing He-Man, you can have
you just play with He-Man
because the scale's wrong.
That to be similar. Yeah, obviously if they're the same sort of
midget.
Yeah. I mean, there's no point trying to put your Migos in with Star Wars figures, is there?
Exactly. No. So yeah, I mean, and so to this day, obviously now I collect Black Series figures, but it's my collection's not going great at the moment because since I've had a child, I don't get to buy so many. And also, I mean, obviously Disney wants to push the sequel trilogy, so they're not producing as many of the Galactic Civil War ones. I mean, if I go through this list, there's so many figures here that I'd love to see come out in the Black Series. You know, so many. I could go through this list, and they'd have my money, you know, and they've already spent thousands of pounds on them. So, and I had spent thousands of pounds on them. So, yeah, it just, at the end of the day, I think about it, I'm like, I've just bought a whole bunch of figures that at the moment are sat in a box because my room's not ready and they're just packed away. And it kills me. I was going to do a show and tell for the video, but I can't today because of just my current living situation with having a little one running around and that, and I can't get to them so easily. So what I'm going to do is just do a separate video where I do the little show and tell on Black Series.
That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess...
are we keeping up, Colin?
Oh, I'm knackered. Right, sorry. I don't know what I was going to say. I've lost it. Carry on.
Well, I think that we must be coming to the end of the podcast at this point because we've gone through all the Kenner figures. I'd love it if people listening to this or watching it leave some comments and just tell us like the figures you had and who your favourite ones were. Tell us about some of your favourite adventures with them or anything like that. It's great to relive old memories from those days because there's so much awesomeness for really youngsters that you could do with these toys. And
just a quick question. Just a quick question. Did you buy any of them when the prequels came out?
Yeah, I did. I've got, and probably still in packaging, some of the Darth Maul. I've got some in packaging and out of packaging. So I've got like Darth Maul. I've got Jar Jar. I've got some of the battle droids. I've got Jango Fett. I've got Boba Fett. I've got quite a few of the prequel ones actually.
Oh. And did you get those ones? I can't remember what the line was called when they were like a relaunch in the 90s, and like they were really like muscular
the muscly
figures.
One. No, I didn't buy any of those because I thought they looked ridiculous.
I bought the Vader one.
They had a figure in there that I always wanted, and I'd love it if the Black Series would do it. And it's Luke when he's on Bespin. He's wearing the vest and the combats.
Oh yeah,
I think that's I'd love a Black Series figure of that. They'll never do it because, as far as I can tell, I mean, I look at some of the sites that are selling them now in the UK. In the States, you can still get them quite easily. Go to Walmart and they sell them and everything. In the UK, you have to generally buy them online because no one sells them in the shops. And even, like, I was looking at one of them today and it just said Black Series clear out. And I'm like, oh, you're going to stop selling them then? That sucks. It makes it much harder to get.
Why?
Because no one buys toys so much. So I go to the shop. I remember going into Smith's Toys when I was in Watford and they just opened and they had a whole row of Black Series figures. And then you go back now and they don't even have, they have like 2 Star Wars lightsabers and that's about it. You know?
They're expensive, that's why.
Yeah, well, that's the annoying thing because the way that they sell them now, because it's all to do with collecting, they sell crates. And what we'll have in there is a ton of what they call peg warmers, which are like the one that's just churned out. And it's never like, you'd think it'd be Troopers, but it's not. It'll always be something like Finn. You'll have Finn, and there'll be like 200. You'll have 200 Finns in a shop, and then there'll be one of this one figure that you can't get anywhere. And that
I never understood why they do it. Why don't they just make them all in equal amounts? I don't get it.
I remember like Asda. So for American listeners, that's Walmart here. It's actually owned by Walmart. I remember going into Asda, and they always had on the shelf, they had about 6 Finns and a couple of Kylo Rens, and they never sold. And then they stopped selling them because, like, well, no one's buying them. So of course they're not, because you're selling the same shit that everyone's got. Why would anyone buy that? If you stuck Stormtroopers up there, or like Death Troopers or anything like that, they'd go because people are army board. You know, you've got to sell the right stuff. You can't stop selling them because they're not selling, because you're not producing the ones that people are going to buy. And if you buy a Stormtrooper now, right, if you look on any of the sites, they've got all these ones that no one wants, and they're selling like £6. Look at Stormtrooper, he's like 26, 27 quid for a Stormtrooper. People
want them.
Yeah, but I can't army build because of that. You know what I started doing, and I got a couple of them, and they're still like sort of £23. The average price for Black Series started at $19.99 originally. Now the average price starts at £26, right? I know, ridiculous. But I started buying the Bandai figures. They're 20.
Oh yeah, but they got the big holes in for the screws.
They're model kit. You put them together, they clip together.
Oh, right.
They're not screw ones. When they're put
What's
together,
the ones I've seen with the screws? There were some that look really cool from the front and had screws in the back.
Yeah, they're the Disney die-cast. I can't remember the actual titles, but they're die-cast.
Yeah, it was in a Disney store. Yeah.
They're really heavy and they're made of metal. Now, the Bandai ones are a model kit. So you pop them, you know, when you get models and they're all on a plastic sheet.
Yeah.
So you pop all the pieces off and you put them together, they clip together. But when they're finished, they look like the Black Series figures. And in some cases, No, they come with transfer kits. But they actually come out being more posable because they can move their shoulders and they can bring their arms across, so you can have them in good poses with guns and stuff. They're really nice figures. So I started getting a few of those to up my Stormtrooper and Death Trooper set because it's the only way I could do it. And also, like with the Shore Trooper, with the Black Series, they released, and they do this is an annoying one they do. So they released the Shore Trooper Captain, right? And then if you want standard Shore Trooper, it was a Target exclusive. You could only get it from Target, which meant you could only get it in the States. It meant if you want it here, you've got to pay a premium price on it online from someone if you could find it in stock, and then to get it shipped over, which was ridiculous. So what I did was I bought Shore Troopers from the Bandai set. And because they come out, sometimes they're a little bit taller than the Black Series. So I was just like, if I mix them in my Stormtroopers, it shows that they're not all the same guy. So it kind of
it's crazy.
It's a really stupid thing. But hey, it is what it is, man. You know, toys now isn't how it was. When we used to collect these Kenner ones, toys were toys. They were for fun. They're to be played with, to make adventures and that kind of stuff.
I just don't get why they make it hard for people to get these things. Just do them in equal quantities and get them out.
I don't get it. And you know, and the thing is, like, Hasbro produced them, right? But if it's hard for me to get it, it's not Hasbro that's getting that money. It's the shop that's selling it.
Yeah.
Right? Because they'll buy it.
It's the second market, isn't it? Yeah. People on eBay and I don't get it. Same with Pops. I don't understand the Pop. I don't understand Pops full stop.
Dude, as I said, I really want this due back, right? So I've got Sand Troopers. So I make my squads. So Sand Troopers, I've got the Captain Orange Pauldron. I've got 4 of the Black Pauldron Troopers. So I need a Sergeant, right? Now, if I wanted a Sergeant, the only way I can buy the Sergeant figure is in a 4-pack that was like £100 and something, and it comes with a R2 unit. It's a black one that you'd get on the Death Star, so that's quite cool. Comes with a TIE Fighter pilot, which I've already got 2 of those, and it comes with a bright red Stormtrooper, and I'm like, I don't even want that one, so I'd have to buy this set. So what I ended up doing was I bought another orange Pauldron one and painted the Pauldron white. Okay, but then they also should have a dewback rider in there who would have a grey Pauldron and he has a staff. Well, I have to buy the dewback because you want to have dewback. So it's £65 to get that. Yeah, to get the dewback. Yeah, so that's why it's in my wish list. I'm like, I want someone to buy this for me because I can't spend £65 right now. And it's annoying because initially Jabba and the Biker Scouts were the other vehicle type toys that came out. They were £35 when they came out, and £35 I can go for that. If you give me a dewback with a rider for £35, I'll buy it. Right? Yeah. But now Gamorrean Guard on his own starts at £35. Ridiculous. I can't get 2 of those. That's £70 on 2 figures. No.
Did you have a Rancor originally?
No, I never had a Rancor. One of the kids down my street had a Rancor, so there's no reason for me to buy it. But you had a Rancor.
I had a Rancor.
Yeah, a lot of people had Rancor. It was a very good toy. It was a very good toy. And the ATST was a cool toy.
Yeah, it was. That
was a really cool toy. You press the button, its legs move, chicken walker. Yeah, man.
Very cool. Right, I need to wind up.
Yeah, so do I. And so, as I say, people, please leave comments. We'd love to hear about your adventures of your Star Wars toys and what you had. If you, Colin will link the one with all the pictures, link that on the podcast and or on the YouTube, and you guys can go check it out. We'll also drop it on the Star Wars group. In fact, I'm going to drop it on there now. And tell us all about it. I'd love to hear about this stuff. Anyway, so that's it for this week. Quickly going through the social media stuff. You can find us on Facebook, where it all started, Star Wars Conversations. We're on Twitter at Star Wars Convo, on Instagram at Star Wars Convo. We're on all the places for podcasts.
And TaylorNetwork, where you can get lots of other brilliant podcasts like TARDIS Podcast and Mighty Marvel Mix and Nothing's On and all the other great ones.
Yep, they're all those places. So that's pretty much it, right? God, that's a quick rundown. Yeah, super fast.
Well done, Jay.
Well done, Colin. All right, guys, that's it for us for this week. So until next time,
punch it, Chewie.
May the Force be with you. We're done?
We're done. I'm just stopping the recording.